Okay, it's August 14th, 2012, and let me tell you something about cryptic predictions. It took a long time for me to crack the code involving DNA, and there is a code there. It involves everybody's DNA, every animal's DNA, anything involving DNA on this planet. Animal, vegetable, or mineral. It is, in fact, all connected. Now, but right now, I got 2 more videos that will be being uploaded this morning, but they were recorded yesterday on the 13th. I don't know what I'm going to keep titling them. I presume the next big event that takes place, I'll be titling that because that seems to stay on the news. Right now there's no news, not of any big concern, and that's when news media starts to grab stories wherever they can. They start to get desperate. So they're waiting for another big event. Oh, don't you worry, people out there, one's coming. I talked about the presidential candidacy. I talked about these other 2 videos about them denying any knowledge or just acting no comment. That's all, like they're oblivious to somebody on YouTube who's a presidential candidate who's challenged them 12 times, and not any of their, even the people that works for them, had the guts or anything else, or the stamina, guts, or good sportsmanship to answer and say, sorry, President, for me, the alleged president won't debate you. Sorry, but the main candidates, Romney and Ryan, aren't going to debate you. So let's talk about something that really is important. How many soldiers have died in Afghanistan? How many soldiers have died in Iraq? How many soldiers died in Vietnam? How many soldiers die in all these stupid idiot wars that is nothing but a form of controlled economy? And that's primarily what it is. It's a form of controlled economy. So let's talk about, oh, we're done. There goes the camera. Okay, we're back on. At an angle. There we go. Well, let's talk about how people feel when a loved one has died or has been taken from them. Let's talk about that and the cryptic predictions involving the fact that if people had listened to me, many of you people, I'd say more than 75% of you, the same 75% is taken out of your tax dollars that contributes to killing innocent men, women, and children in other countries and creating foreign terrorism, what you inappropriately and erroneously call terrorism, all along, and the people who have died in all the mass shootings or events, episodes, violent episodes and violent events that have been caused by people who were so hacked off that they had a break with reality and did what they did. And a lot of people died. Now, or they had revenge on their mind, and that's enough to do it. So, I heard Kevin Costner did a movie called based on the Hatfields and the McCoys, and that is a perfect comparative example of what your society is based on. And it was the same way that what was based on the Al Capone syndicates back in the roaring 20s. One gang hit another, and then the gang hit back, and then it just went back and forth forever. Just about. It's still going on, only they're not gangs of that sort. Now they've taken different forms of violent episodes, like and groups, like the cartels, the drugs, and the hundreds of conspiracy stories, and the government wants the drugs because they have not only a controlled economy that makes money, but a controlled police force that makes money. You've got very piss poor systems. They really are. The worst kind. So let's talk about what a person really, and how a person is really supposed to react when one of their loved ones has been taken from them. Get back on the subject here. When someone, like in the Aurora Theater shooting, or the Wisconsin shooting, or the many shootings that were involving postal employees that lost it and went into the postal service and shot people, employment shootings, arson, setting fires, and hundreds of people losing their homes on and off throughout the decades. This is how you respond when you have had. Remember my rap sheet statistic that I told you about the 7,750 years. Mankind has got 7,750 years of wars under their belt in bits and pieces of timelines all over the planet. And only a little less than 300 years of peace in bits and pieces of timelines all over the planet. This is a very, very poor excuse, a very bad rap sheet. So, being that you have such a violent nature, let's talk about how the people that lost their loved ones in the theater, lost their loved one in Anaheim, police shootings, police brutality, police mistreatment, police overkill. Let's talk about all that stuff. This is involving the political campaign. Let's talk about the real issues. How should you, as a citizen who says you're proud to wave that lousy, to me it's a lousy, stinking, jerky, moronistic red, white, and blue flag. It doesn't mean anything to me, because I have lost everything, and it was by your collective actions as an American citizen. And I don't care how you self-rationalize yourself that you're not responsible. Yes, you are. But right now I'm talking to all the people that lost someone, and inside they're never going to be satisfied, because you can't bring that person back. So band all those people together, put them all together, and you should form a form of revolution. You should say, if a cop car can carry a bumper sticker that says there's no excuse for domestic terrorism, and I don't know why they separate that argument. They separate into different classifications. It doesn't say there's no excuse for international terrorism. There's no excuse for international violence. There's no excuse for domestic terrorism or domestic violence. Why separate it under different classifications? There's no excuse for violence. It's simple. It's easy to understand. That's what the bumper stickers just said. There's no excuse for any kind of violence. Period. But see, you people have a violent nature, and you like violence. You really do. When it meets your needs. And so be it, if it happens to be that you need to run a controlled war economy in order to keep the money going, then so be it. And I say, as a presidential candidate, no, so be it. Sorry, that's piss poor, and that ain't going to pass on my desk. There's a plaque that used to be on the president's desk. It's called "The Buck Stops Here." That's a lot of bull malarkey. It doesn't stop there. It goes back and forth between the three-ring circus, the Senate, representatives, and the lousy, idiot, pretend president, or puppet. And they're all puppets, more or less. Puppets to money, puppets to rich people's interests, puppets to all of that. Presidential candidates now say, let's take it out on the rich. The rich have worked hard all their life. Many of them have. I'm not saying all of them have. And they deserve to keep what they have worked for. But the rich have to understand that you cannot make laws for the rich that take advantage of the poor. And that's exactly what your country has done, because I'm one of the poor that my civil rights were violated, and they took advantage of me beyond explanation. Beyond any explanation I could give, because no one can feel the pains I'm going through now and that I went through. There was a wreck I was in once when I was real young, diesel rig jackknife on the causeway up towards New York, and I should have died. If I could go back and sit in that rig and know that it would have gone over an embankment, I should have died, because my life has become meaningless. All of it. Everything I worked for more than 20 years was destroyed by the city of Los Angeles, their lousy, stinking interpretation of civil rights laws, the lousy, stinking interpretations of the Supreme Court. You're all sick. And not one person in more than 3 years since my house was burnt over there on DeSoto and Hart in Canoga Park, for which some moron bought for less than I offered the bank after it went into foreclosure. I offered much, much more for that property so I wouldn't have to move. And there's a standard in the banking policy. You can hear it in one of my other videos where the Attorney General Harris was on the news that she got $18 billion and no retroactive settlement for the people who already lost their houses. Oh, no. See, YouTube plays around. They mix these videos up so much that no one ever gets my message straight across. They don't. Not enough people. And that means that they are, whether they mean to or not, they are controlling the amount of information that I give people. And they're interfering in the cryptic predictions as well. So because the majority of people have not heard me just as equally as they've heard Obama and Romney, who are Bilderberg, rich people's puppets. Bilderberg, Trilateral Commission, Rockefeller, rich people's puppets. Then you people are in the dark about who to really have as leadership for this country. So, in my other two videos, I talked about what you need to do. We're already 12 minutes into this video. Now, here it comes. Let's get back to the subject about what and how should you react after you've lost a loved one. You know what? You should react just like me. Take your money out of the banks. Stop cooperating. Every place you can that's required of you to cooperate with society where it would not affect your lifestyle too much. Obviously you need to just keep existing, and you need a stable base of operations. So you don't want that messed with. That's what they took away from me, and that's why I don't have a stable base of operations. I have no place I can go. I have to move stuff now. Kill myself. I've been forced to become a slave of moving my possessions over and over again because they took all my cars, trucks, boats, motorhomes, everything that was stored and all of that, which was already on wheels. So if I had to move it, I would just move it. And the reason everything was stored like that was because one day I was going to move out of California and move to Colorado on 40 acres. And they did it to me twice. They purposely instigated pressures against me that would force me to lose my stuff and trap me here at the same time. So this is what you should be doing as a person and how you should be reacting. You should be in a revolutionary mode of action, taking your money out of the banks, talking to other people, cooperating, sending messages to other people, connecting with all the people who have lost loved ones through what you firmly believe was the responsibility of the society that you live in, the powers that be. Now, by doing that, you're sending a clear message that you don't want new gun laws. You don't want new, you want, see, it's people that kill people. You want some psychological changes across the board throughout the whole United States. And the only way you're going to do that is to educate people about what truly is important in the area of psychology, and what people should really be focusing on. And they have to be taught these lessons, and what they shouldn't be focusing on. And you can only suggest to people, because you don't have a free society, if you force people to, to do anything. But you can suggest things, and in these suggestions, if they're repeated over and over again, like practice makes perfect, then, or practice makes almost perfect, then you will be able to make a dent in the kind of mental illnesses and stresses that are caused by the very same society. You need, and needed to, many years ago, to have started doing this many years ago. To do it now is going to be even more difficult, because people are very, very addicted to their creature comforts and so on and so forth. And they're not willing to give up. You don't have to give up personal possessions. You have to donate time. And people don't have time to donate. They're too busy trying to keep their head above the financial waters just to survive. And that's where I come in. There has to be different standards in this country. Different standards of rents, ceilings of where rents have to stop, ceilings where mortgages have to stop. Mrs. Harris over here, the Attorney General of California, didn't do enough. Like I said, she didn't get retroactive pay for people like me, retroactive compensation, or retroactive petition for redress of grievance. Nothing at the federal, state, or local level. And that's why they are inefficient as politicians, they're inefficient as suggestive analysts, they're inefficient at being able to solve the problems uniquely that need to be solved in today's world. These people are living 20 years ago, if not further back. So, at 15 minutes, 17 minutes now, I got to get off here.